In this video, we're going to look at compositions of functions. So a composition is a function of a function. So for example, this little symbol here, this indicates that you're doing a composition, and this would be read as g of f of x. So I would read this as g of f of x. So the input here is f of x. Oops, I'm not sure why this is clicked. So my input is f of x. So we're inputting f of x into function g. So if I look at this first example, we are trying to find g of f of x. I personally prefer this notation over this one, but they mean the same thing. So it's just kind of a personal preference. So I'm going to write down g of f of x. And what we're going to do is we're going to first replace f of x. So we're going to plug f of x into function g. So I'm going to say g is the same thing. So g of this right here. So instead of f of x, I'm going to actually plug in x plus 5. So all I did was replace this with x plus 5. And now I'm going to actually input that into function g. So then this just becomes an evaluating problem, like what you've seen before. So now I'm going to write function g. I'm going to write parentheses wherever there's an x. And then I'm going to just replace my input. So my input is x plus 5. So I just replace that. And then that right there is the answer. It's not simplified. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify it out, but this is the answer. So now, in order to simplify this, this is going to be x plus 5 times x plus 5. Minus, make sure we distribute that negative, so minus 2x minus 10. And for this piece, just be careful that you don't just square the x and square the 5, because it's really x plus 5 times x plus 5. So you could do a grid off to the side to multiply. You'll get good at just being able to multiply these without needing to use a grid. But if I use a grid, it would be x squared, and then this would be 5x. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 5 is 25. So this ends up giving me x squared plus 10x plus 25 minus 2x minus 10. You could also just FOIL this out. So any way to multiply that is fine. And then just combine like terms. So x squared is going to be in front. I combine the x's, I get plus 8x. And then 25 minus 10 will give me positive 15. And that's it. So that's plugging in function f of x into function g. Now, it can go the other way too. So like I could swap these. I could say f of g of x, and then the order would be different. So the main thing is you always work from the inside to the outside. So inside out is how you're doing these. If you look at this example here, now it's asking us to find g of f of 2. So instead of giving our answer in terms of x, we're going to give our answer as a number. So there's two ways that we can do this. One is to use the equation from above. So I'm going to write out both ways. So method 1 would just be use the above equation that we just did all that work to find. So use above equation. So what that means is if this was a problem, you could first find g of f of x. So I could find that, and then I could plug in. That's all it's saying. So I'm going to go ahead and say g of f of 2 is equal to, and I'm taking this equation from right here. So I'm going to plug in 2, and wherever there's an x, I'm putting parentheses to plug in. And then I would just type all of that in the calculator using parentheses, and I'm getting 35. So that's one option. So this option is very good if you have to find this first, because then you already have your equation. If you don't have to find g of f of x first, and you're just asked this, then I wouldn't bother finding the equation with x in it. I would go right into plugging in. So what I would do is, so let's rewrite this. So g of f of 2. So the first thing I would do is I would work in the inside. So you're working on the inside piece. So it means I'm going to keep the notation g, and I'm going to find f of 2. So f of 2, you're going to go back up to the top here, f of 2, and you're going to plug into here. So that means I'm going to plug 2 in for x. So that means where there was an x, so it was x plus 5 up top. So it's going to be 2 plus 5. And then I'm going to simplify that. So this is going to give me 7. And now you can see all I have left to do is find g of 7. So that's really all you're doing. So I just go right into plugging in the number. So now I go back up to g, which is x squared minus 2x. So x squared minus 2x. And now I plug in 7 and type that into my calculator or just do it by hand. So 49 minus 14. So again, you get 35. So this second method is much quicker if you're just trying to find a number. You plug the number directly in. This first method is if you're asked to find the equation with an x in it first in a previous part, then it's quicker just to use that equation. So either options are valid. It's just kind of depending on the problem.